My name's Amanda, and the Design Crafts Council of Ireland and Benchspace have asked me to come and make a video for you to show you how to use your pack to make a spoon person. Here are my two spoon people that I've made so far. This one I made from the pack. Now, the spoon people was started by my sister Karen over in England. She made two spoons. She thought it'd be nice to put it at the end of her estate in the grass and invite other children and friends to make spoons and join in and make a community. Because unlike us at the moment, spoon people can touch each other. Spoon people can hold hands. They don't have to socially distance. This project was so popular that it's spread all over the world and is very, very popular in England and even Australia. So we're going to start it off in Ireland now. Now, I've taken all my pieces out of my pack. In my pack, I have my spoon, a length of yarn, a pipe cleaner, that's this fuzzy thing here, two wiggly eyes, and two pieces of fabric. Now, each pack is different, so you won't have the same fabric, you won't have the same yarn or pipe cleaner, but you'll all have the same bits. What you'll also need is some glue. Now, you can use PVA glue, which is the white glue you quite often use at school, and you just have to make sure it says PVA, because when these go outside, this glue is waterproof. You'll also need a good sharp pair of scissors. Okay, so now we're ready to begin. Now then, to begin with, I'm going to take my yarn, I'm just going to open it out a little bit. And what I want to do is cut a length of yarn. Now, to make sure you've got enough yarn, just measure it off against the pipe cleaner. It doesn't have to be very precise. We're going to just put this little piece to one side for later. Now then, you're going to take your yarn and you want to wrap it around something. Okay, so depending on what you wrap it around, makes the hair longer or shorter. You could use a store card, one of those shopping cards, and wrap it around like this. Or I quite like a piece of kitchen roll. You can flatten that out and wrap it around. So I'm going to keep going with this. And I'm going to wrap all of my yarn around until I get to the end. Now then, when I've got to the end here, and it's all wrapped around, I'm going to very carefully take my scissors and I'm going to get them right underneath all of those lengths of yarn, and I'm going to cut all of the yarn. Okay. Now be very careful here, you want to keep them all together, keep them in one pile. Lay your pile down on the table, and from your pile you're just going to hold it down with your finger and take one piece out like that. And then with this piece you're going to tie this piece nice and tight around the middle. Okay, now then, and then you can just give it a couple of knots and push it back in with the rest of the hair. Now you can see if I'd used a smaller piece to wind my wool around, I'd have had shorter hair and I'd have had more of it. Or if I'd used a bigger piece, I'd have had longer hair, but there wouldn't have been quite so much. So we're going to fix the hair on. Now, when you're using PVA glue, you have to remember it takes a little while to dry, but you need to use a good blob of glue. So we're going to stick the hair on just on the top. So you want a blob of glue on the top like that. And push the hair into place in the middle there. Okay, going to look a little bit blobby for the moment until it's dried out. It'll be fine. Now, while we're here, we can stick on our eyes. And these eyes that you have are fiddly, but they peel off. And you can peel your eyes off. And don't push too hard because you'll dent the eye. You can stick both eyes. You might need to find somebody with some nails to help you here. There we go. And I'm just going to put my other eye on there. Okay. Now we're going to leave that one side to dry. Now, our next stage, while our spoon is drying, we're going to cut the shirt or the blouse. So you're going to take your big piece of fabric, and what you want to do is you want to fold it in half, doesn't matter which way, and then you're going to fold it in half again. All right? So you have 2 folds along here. You have all the corners open there. And this corner here is where all your folds meet. Now what you're going to do, you take your scissors and very, very carefully you're going to nip out the smallest little triangle. Can you see that? And you're just going to cut that off. Now it only needs to be a tiny triangle, because what happens here then is when we open it out, we have a neck hole for our spoon. Now, we can make that bigger, depending on the spoon that we're using, but we can't make it smaller. So it's best to start off small. Now, you're going to fold it in half again, back in half. You've got your open sides here, and you've got your hole up here. Now, you're going to very carefully cut a square out of each of the open sides. Okay, each of the open corners here. So I'm just going to take one snip, I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to take another snip. There, like that. Okay, I'll do it again on this side. Don't need those bits. So I'm going to take about halfway from the top to the bottom, one snip, and I turn it round and just take one snip up. Sometimes you need to do a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so now you have a shirt shape, and it should open out like this with a hole in the middle. Now then, we're going to put the shirt onto the spoon. Your glue should be drying, but still be very careful. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your shirt, you're going to lift it up. Now, some of these fabrics, there's lots and lots of different fabrics here. Some have a good strong pattern on the outside and a lighter pattern on the inside. Some, like this one, same colour on both sides. So what you're going to do is you're going to come from the side with the big strong pattern on it. You're going to push your spoon through. And you're going to bring your shirt up. Now, this is where you decide if your hole is big enough. Okay, now you can see I quite like my shirt to come up to about here. So I'm going to have to make my hole bigger. So I'm going to take my spoon out. I'm going to fold my shirt again. And I'm going to cut this little triangle just a little bit bigger. You'd be surprised how much comes out. Just a little bit bigger. So we have a bigger hole now. And again, I'm going to push my spoon in. That's better. There it is in place. Now, we want it to stay there, don't we? So you're going to open out your shirt, take your pipe cleaner, and you're going to put your pipe cleaner around your spoon to the back Try not to get your shirt in. And give it a few twists to make it tight. And then push. These are going to be your arms. You push them out like that. Okay, so you've got your twists on the back. And then I'm just going to take another blob of glue. Pop it on there. And push your pipe cleaner up into the glue like that. Okay, now lie your person down. And then we're going to fold. It's a bit fiddly here. You're going to put a little line of glue along, this is going to be the sleeve, along the bottom of the sleeve. 2 sleeves. There we go. That to one side. Hold the arms out. Flip the shirt over and line up your sleeve edges. And give them a little press down. Now, this would be a good time to really leave that to dry for a good long time. Okay, so the hair can dry in place, the shirt can dry in place, and the pipe cleaner can dry in place as well. Right, now for the fun bit. We're going to give your spoon person a face. I'm just going to rest her up on here so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, I've got some nice pens here. These ones are very good. They don't run in the rain. They're nice and waterproof. So I'm just going to take my pen. I'm going to give her a nose. And I'm going to give her a nice big smiley face. I think I might colour that in. There we go. Now you can do any face you like. You can do a laughing face. But you've got to make her happy because she's happy to be with her friends. So I'm going to leave that to one side while it still dries. And then we're going to make the trousers. Now then, with your other piece of fabric, when your spoon person, the shirt is dry and the pipe cleaner is stuck in place, the hair is dry, you can put a bottom half on now. You could do a skirt. Skirt is nice and easy. With the skirt, you just lay your fabric on, bunch it up, and this is where your piece of yarn from last time comes in. You might need to get somebody to help you with this, because you need a lot of fingers. And you can tie the piece of yarn around the waist. Give it a couple of knots and you have a skirt, nice wraparound skirt. And I've caught in the shirt here as well, just to give her a bit of a body. Okay, now, if you wanted to give her trousers, or if it was a boy, I'll show you how to make the trousers. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make some trousers instead of a skirt. So you're going to take your glue and you're going to run the line of glue down each of the short ends, like that. Okay. You're going to take your spoony person, gather up their shirt and pop them not quite in the middle. You're going to bring one side of the fabric over and push it down like that. So you've caught in the shirt into one side of the fabric, almost to the middle. Then you're going to bring your other piece and that's just going to fold over near to the other edge. So again, it's still tucked in here and we've got a gap down here. They don't quite meet. All right. Then, much like the skirt, you take your top part and you take your piece of yarn and you wrap around a couple of times. Okay. Pull it nice and tight and pop in a couple of knots like this. Now, you have to be very careful with this bit. Where you have your gap, you're going to cut very, very carefully, just one long snip. You're not going to go all the way to the top. You're just going to take one long snip up. And there you have the trousers. Now then, once your spoon is finished and your glue is dried, you might want to decorate your spoon a little bit more. And I've been round my house picking up bits and pieces. I found some nice net. That was from some oranges that we got. And I have a jar of bits of ribbon. And these bits of ribbon come on all sorts of things. Boxes of chocolates, some shopping bags, and inside the shoulder of your shirt as well. You quite often get nice little bits of ribbon. So what you can do is, I've got some here, these were already tied when they came off the present I got. So I think I might just give her a little bow. Just to put on a little bit of decoration. So again, I'm just going to use my glue, blob. Stick on the bow. You could also use some buttons or beads. Again, you might want to use buttons that you've found around the place. You might have some special buttons. There's a little heart-shaped one. Should we stick that on? Yeah, stick that on there. You want to make your spoony person your spoony person. And to be able to go back to Spoonville and see which is yours. So there we go. I've put some little embellishments on, some little decorations on. And you can put anything you like on, okay? Just have fun with it. So the other thing you can do, if you want to make more spoon people, you don't need a kit. Here, I've made a spoon person. I had a spoon in the kitchen. I used a twig from the garden. I've used some more of this fruit netting, some silver foil, more fruit netting, and look, I've used buttons for the eyes. So you can just play around with it, be creative, make little creatures, make little people. They're all going to be friends in the end. So, get making, get your packs out, get your glue out, and have some fun. And thanks for watching. Bye now.